Alright, we're here for round 3 with Blue-White Heroic, and this hand looks pretty good. I think this is going to be another hand where we actually lead with the tap land over the 1-drop. Uh, Obviously dependent on if we draw an untapped land on the first turn. So, well, black-white land probably means Abzan of some form or another. Could be Mardu Dragons. Alright, yeah, we'll lead with that. Kind of want another land. Flesh Rand's alright. We'll keep it. Not really sure how this matchup plays out. Oh, Jungle Hollow. I see a couple people actually playing Jungle Hollow on Moto because Temple of Malady is like $20. So it's kind of funny. At the same time, though, the life does matter on occasion. So I don't know. It's probably not correct, but who knows? So if he's not able to kill Hero, or if he doesn't main phase kill Hero, then we're going to be in good shape. So I kind of want to play the Mentor now because it doesn't die to Abzan Charm, and it would require him having another downfall immediately. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to get Island. I think having 2 white is enough. We might need 2 blue for something in a few turns. So if he doesn't have a second downfall, if he just goes land Siege Rhino, we get to kill it and make a guy. And if he just passes turn with 3 mana up for Abzan Charm, we can just not... well, if he has another downfall, that kind of stinks. Alright, Morph. We can beat Morph. Not yet, but we can eventually beat Morph. So he's probably going to flip up his Dim Protector, get back Downfall, and try to Downfall next turn. So we want to make sure we hold up Valor stance. So I think what we actually want to do is start by attacking. Probably not going to block. And guess we just play Favorite Hoplite and pass. And if we get to untap, that's great. I mean, we're going to get to untap with our Mentor regardless, as long as we don't play Defiant Strike. If he taps out for something, which he's not going to do, what we can do actually is block and Defiant Strike our Favorite Hoplite. That would give us a token, and we'll have a guy. We'll be able to eat his Den Protector. I'm not bold enough. I just want to make sure my guy doesn't die. Really hope he main phases it. That'd be pretty great for me. Fleece main line. Alright, that's really good for us. Get to go into turn, pump this, make a guy, use our mana a little more efficiently. We get to play Ordeal, hopefully draw land somewhere in there. I don't think I'm going to trade Fleece Main for Monastery Mentor, though. I'm going to just try to draw land and then hold up Valor stance. We could attack with Mentor and gamble a little bit. It gives us a chance to draw either... So, yeah, if we attack with it, we basically have to draw God's Willing, a Giant's Presence, or another Defiant Strike off of 2 draws. So, yeah, I think I'll just try not to gamble as much. Alright, well, we're just going to play the protection game with Mentor. If he wants to tap out, that's fine. Can protect it. We're going to take a big chunk of damage here, though. But I think that's okay. Alright, yep, now we're just going to make a bunch of guys. Try to draw into God's Willing or something here before we attack. Even Ordeal wouldn't be that bad. Basically, we're just main phasing this because we want to make sure we get, if we draw something to play at sorcery speed, we want to go ahead and play it. Do him a ton of damage. He might just go block favorite Hoplite. Yeah, and then he's just gonna give it monstrous. And 7. So we can play Giant's Presence and Valor Stance. How much extra damage is that? So it's right now it's 7, so that's 10, 13, and then a Giant's Presence is only 14, so it's not quite enough. We're 1 short, but he can no longer crack Windswept Heath to play like Elspeth or something. So, and we'll have a ton of tokens. So, and that would mean he needed Crux or Bowblight. So I think we're actually good just waiting a turn. And we'll play Seeker since it'll get bigger no matter what and maybe allow us to race. So we're in pretty good shape here. We have a lot of cards in our hand that we're never going to cast. But that's kind of the nature of the beast. We're both just kind of waiting for the other one to make the move first. And I think I'm just in a great spot here, so no reason for us to bite. Alright, well, this is 7 damage currently, so let's make him make the first move. And then we'll just give our guy indestructible, and the prowess trigger should kill him through double removal spell. So he's downfalling Seeker. It's a little weird. I guess he just wants to try to race us. So we'll just target that. We're not going to strive it. So we don't really need to strive it. And we want to be able to protect from a second removal spell. Alright, cool. That was game 1. And again, I think in this matchup, we can also just board into this wonky control deck. Encased Nice is pretty good against Fleecemane Lion. And there's a huge downswing in the copies of Dromoka's commands in people's decks nowadays. I mean, as you can see from our deck in general, Heroic was like the best Dromoka's command deck. But it's just not very good anymore. So, yeah, we'll just bring in all of this stuff. Stratus Dancer is not as good, but it can counter something. And one thing that I didn't really think about when I was building this version was boarding an extra land. I think that's an extra island would be good to have since we're boarding in so many blue cards. So that's something to keep in mind when trying to move forward with the deck. Lagana Band kind of stinks. Seeker is pretty mediocre. Aqueous Form, so he's probably not playing the Death Misraptor version of the deck, if I had to guess. So Aqueous Form is actually not very good. And since we are bringing in the Encased Ices, that should hopefully be enough. Let's see. We have to keep cutting a few things. Don't really know what to cut. God's Willing's great. We could just trim on the Ordeals, since they lead to us getting 2 for 1. But that does make it much harder to actually kill him. I'm going to try out cutting Stratus Dancer when we're on the draw. Maybe that'll be good. And then... I don't really want to go to less than 12 creatures. It's not very many. Kind of just want to find one heroic creature and just turtle up. Or play Mentor and a bunch of treasure cruises. We'll try that. Maybe we can trim down on something else, though. Maybe we don't need all the Encased Nices, since Valor Stance kills Rhino and Tassiger. And, actually, Encased Nice basically just stops Rhino and Den Protector. So maybe Encased Nice is just worse than Ordeal. We'll try like that. There are going to be some games where we just want to have one creature and then sit behind it. This hand is not very good. I kind of want to mulligan it. Probably should mulligan it. We are in the draw, but he kept 7. We don't have a big draw spell or anything, so we're going to pitch it. This hand's a little bit better. If he doesn't Thoughtseize us, we're going to be in pretty good shape. If he Thoughtseizes and takes Mentor, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Have to have a few good draw steps. Treasure Cruise or something would be awesome. And we're just going to die to Fleecemane Lion. Yep, that was a good reason for Encase Nice. I talked myself out of it on accident. I just forgot about Fleecemane Lion. Pretty stupid. Alright, pass turn. And we're aggressively getting our fetch lands in the graveyard, so if we ever draw a Treasure Cruise, we get to cast it for as cheap as possible. I'm going to... Okay, now that we drew that, I'm going to wait one more turn. Basically try to stroke whatever he plays on 3, and then play Mentor with counter back up on 4. That's what I was afraid of. Yeah, if we had played it, it probably would have died to ultimate price or something. I mean, there's like a million things it can die to, so it's a little tilting. If we had gotten to play that next turn, we would have been in pretty good shape. Like, the way we wanted the game to go was him play Siege Rhino, we counter it, untap, play Mentor with protection, and then we would have been perfect. Now we're just going to get beat down by this Fleecemane Lion, and I guess I should probably bring in the Encases. I might actually cut down on a Giant's Presence since we went up on Valor Stance. Let's see. Alright, let's try to find a guy. That's a guy. And not a ton to do with it, but we can like block and prevent damage with it, so I guess that's not terrible. Yeah, Fleecemane is something I just forgot about. That was a deck building error. This is Giant's Presence, and so the 2 Giant's Presence are probably going to come out, and maybe one other thing, and we're just going to have only God's Willing as protection. Valor Stance can double as protection, but I'm probably going to use that against his creatures, not aggressively, but likely will be the major mode is kill his guy. Although when we're on the play, we may just not worry about all that other garbage. I'll like not try to play the control game like the Disdainful Strokes and all that nonsense, and just go for the normal heroic game plan. This plan is a lot better on the draw, but it's also a lot better when you use sideboard correctly. Alright, we're gonna initiate here just to kind of force the action. We want to scry, even though this is better against Abzan Charm. I really want to scry to try to hit a Treasure Cruiser or something to actually interact with the board. Finding the second Mentor would be good. Having a third Mentor on the board was something I toyed around with a little bit. So it's possible that we want that. Maybe even go up to 4 Mentor if we're going to try this alternate game plan. And he even has Dramoka's Command. Alright, well. Sure. Probably going to get downfalled. Maybe not. Might get Abzan Charmed. So I guess we'll get Pro Black. Alright, well, we don't need another guy. But we do have a guy. Well, I guess he's not big enough, actually, to fend off this Fleecemane Lion. Glare of Heresy. I guess I should have given it Pro White. Tilt. Didn't even think about that one. Alright, we're just going to scoop this one up. So, Encase Nice is not a good plan. We're not going to try to do that. Yeah, this whole counterspell thing is not great. The Valor Stances are probably still good. Giant's Presence, not so much. Yeah, we're going to go back to just the same old heroic deck. Still want the 4 treasure cruise, I think. The games get grindy enough. Strokes are medium to bad. And Aqua's Farm, I think, is still bad. Case and Ice, since he has Dromoka's Command, is pretty awkward. Stratus Dancer might be okay, since it flies and can counter a removal spell. I think we'll try this on the play over... well, the Loganos don't sound that bad, actually. Probably better than Seeker. We'll just go down to 1 Seeker and have the 2 Stratus Dancers. Alright, this is a pretty good open in hand. It's fairly likely that our Trailblazer gets hit with something. But we're going to lead off with it, and definitely just Defiant Strike it and attack for 2 on turn 2. Unless, of course, we get Thought Seized, but that's neither here nor there. Alright, so he bottomed. We'll Defiant Strike before we play a land in case we draw a 1-drop creature or God's Willing or something. Alright, don't need another land right now. May regret that later if I am 1 short of casting Treasure Cruise at some point. Alright, no Thoughtseize is pretty sweet. I'm going to go ahead and I guess get a blue with this. This one is a lot more blue heavy, so I think it's okay to fetch up a second blue source early on. So we morph there even though we couldn't protect it, because it's likely he just doesn't know what this card is, since not a lot of people play Stratus Dancer in Heroic, or in general. And he might just go for the kill on the Lagana Band Trailblazer with like a Glare and play another tap land. And so next turn we get to play Battlewise Hoplite, play the land, and then hold up either Valor Stance or flip on Stratus Dancer. Fleecemane Lion, yeah, that's a little annoying. Alright, play Battlewise. We're going to attack with Lagana, but not the Stratus Dancer. There's a chance he doesn't block, since he could just get Defiant Strike. So yeah, so we got it in a free point, which is great. Now we get to hold up for protection against removal, or just a removal spell on Siege Rhino. Or I guess we could kill that. Yeah, next time we get to maybe play Treasure Cruise. Yeah, I guess we'll just kill it. Alright, that was a pretty good draw. It leaves us a lot of spells we can play for 2 mana to punish him here. And it allows us to keep our thing flipped. Since we can't protect this turn, we're actually just going to wait 1 turn, I guess. Maybe that's not even great. I could attack with Lagana and Battlewise Hoplite, and if he blocks Battlewise, we can use Valor Stance to trade off with the Fleecemane by giving our guy Indestructible. Or if he just blocks, he could just block neither. But then we still have, like, we get to untap with Ordeal and Stratus Dancer. So, alright, well, if he doesn't want to initiate, I'm fine not doing anything. Unfortunately, Stratus can't kill, or can't stop Elspeth, so that's one thing we have to be conscious of. But it can stop Crux of Fate, which he might cast here. And that would be sweet. Alright. We'll go and scry. Got Defiant Strike on top. That's actually pretty good. Now I kind of don't really want to do anything. We're forced to initiate if we attack, and he has mana untapped. So we're kind of like begging for a 2-for-1. I guess if we ordeal, we can go ordeal, attack, draw 2 cards, and or if he tries to do something, we just flip Stratus Dancer and counter it. And we can also draw the Defiant Strike and cast that. So that's not so bad. But if he plays Elspeth next turn, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. I guess that's one reason to keep what's the card? Disdainful Stroke in the deck after game 1. Yeah, so he's tanking here. I think maybe he's kind of figured out that there's a Stratus Dancer the way I've been playing it. I haven't. I mean, I don't know what else it could reasonably be. Maybe he's thinking about Dramoka's commanding to make me sacrifice an enchantment, but that's good for me. I'm okay with that. Target player sacrifice. Yeah, he doesn't understand how that works, so that's great. But he is trying to kill our Stratus Dancer. So I think we just flip this up and we're fine with that anyway, because we actually get to attack with it now. We get to draw 2, hit the Defiant Strike. Also, next turn, the let's see, he's not blocking. So maybe he's just cruxing. Yeah, we want to get in a little more damage here, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. Alright, we don't want to land. Alright, Lagana Band, not exactly great either. But if he does just go Elspeth, he has a tick up. If he plays Crux, we get to morph Stratus Dancer, play Lagana. If it's just Elspeth, we get to attack him down to 2, hold back some guys. Siege Rhino, yep. And got something else. Alright, well that's great. So we're just going to exile this, or not exile, destroy that, attack, and then hope that his last card is not something that exiles or makes me sacrifice randomly. Alright, cool. Well, that was a weird game. But yeah, Stratus Dancer is looking really good right now. I feel like a lot of my ideas and sideboard choices are kind of coming together nicely, which is great for me. I'm still working on this deck for this weekend. Not sure if I'm going to Indianapolis for the Open or Providence for the Grand Prix, but both are standard, so hopefully I'll have this in working condition by then. But yeah, that's all for round 3. We'll be back for round 4 in just a minute.